Hi, Miss Allie's fifth grade class. Today we're going to learn about comparing and contrasting. First, I will explain what that is and show an example. Then we will work on two examples together, and finally it will be your turn to work on your own or in pairs on two questions that we have a worksheet on. So to begin with, what is comparing and contrasting? It is like what you do when you are working in groups and you're comparing and contrasting answers. You're seeing what answers you have are the same, that would be comparing, and you are contrasting by seeing what answers you have that are different. So specifically, comparing is what is alike, what's the same, what's shared, something in common, similar, and contrast is differences and things that aren't alike. So for instance, the slide shows the fox and the deer both live in the forest. They are being compared and it's telling how the things are alike. Contrast, telling how things are different, is a bear is a mammal and an owl is a bird. And to put it simply, it is telling how things are alike and how things are different. So we use this during reading as an important skill because we need to know about the details of different things that we're reading about. And this helps us think about the details and connect with the details. And we are able to do this by comparing two different things, which could be real life examples, two different chapters of books, two different characters, two different events, two different items of a story, or two different stories themselves. And we compare these two things by telling how they are alike or how they are different. And like I said, it helps us think about the details more deeply, and it helps us connect with them by seeing how our own experiences relate to them or how other things we think of remind us of how the things are alike or different. And this is a poster board I made and it will be up in our classroom for further use in the year. Next, we have a comparison chart to help us see and organize our ideas. And we have subject 1 on the left and subject 2 on the right. This is where you would put the names of the two different things you are comparing. So if I was comparing two characters, I would put one of the characters' names where it says subject 1, and I would put the other character's name where it says subject 2. Now, as I was reading, I would be seeing how they were similar, so how they are alike, and I would write down how the two characters are alike in the middle column where it says similarities. I would write it in that blank space. Then I would write the different details in each column. So subject 1, the details that only are with subject 1 and not with subject 2 would go in under subject 1. And the details that only are true for subject 2 would go under subject 2 in that column. So then we'd be able to see in the middle how they're alike and on the two separate ends how they are different. Now I will read the short paragraph and then I will fill out the comparison chart. So, for lunch, Miss Allie ate an apple, a peanut butter sandwich, and drank water. She ate with two other teachers in the staff lounge and read a book. The students ate corn dogs, apples, and drank milk. They ate with their friends in the cafeteria and went outside to play after eating. So first, I would identify what the two subjects are, and that would be Miss Allie's lunch and the students' lunches, because all the other words in there are describing either Miss Allie's lunch or the students' lunches. So let's see. Now, how are they alike? Let's see. Miss Allie had an apple. Did the students have an apple? Yep, they did. So where it says similarities in yellow with the two arrows pointing down, I will write apples. how else were they alike? As I scan through, I see that, they didn't eat in the same room, but they both ate at school, and they both ate with other people, although they were different people. Now that I have found the similarities, pretty much everything else will be a difference. So, let's see, Miss Allie's lunch. So only Miss Allie had a peanut butter sandwich, water, ate in the staff lounge, ate with staff members, and read a book. The students did not do that. The students, their lunch was corn dogs, milk, cafeteria, ate with friends, and went outside to play. The steps here are select 2 subjects, find similarities, find differences, review. So let's read all of those steps, together. And then we would read them together. Now, I have handed out a worksheet, which is 2-sided, and we are going to go on the first side that is not numbered and does not have instructions on it. And you also have received a story named Tanya's Money Problems, and we're going to read this and do 2 examples together. So also anything I've written on the board, you should also have written down in your worksheet. So far we have Tanya's Money Problems written in the title, and if that is not on your worksheet, please write it now. So next, page 3 is what we're going to read first, and it's an introduction to 2 twins, Tanya and Thad, and it describes them. And I will read, and then we will compare and contrast them using our charts together. So, don't forget to look for similarities and differences as I am reading. So, Tanya and Thad Fredrickson are twins. Most people think they look alike, but that's where the similarity ends. While Tanya is outgoing and has lots of friends, Thad is shy and has only a couple of good friends. So what 2 words relate to today's topic, compare and contrasting? That's right. The words alike and similarity. They are in the second sentence. So what is being said to be alike or similar, which means they're being compared? So what's being compared, or who? Correct, Tanya and Thad. Those are our 2 subjects. We'll write them in the subject column. So what was a similarity that was mentioned? Correct, looks. And then I would read the rest of the paragraph to the students, and I would ask questions, which would be, all right, which student has many friends? Correct, Tanya, and Tanya's also outgoing. What about Thad? Yes, he's shy, has a couple of friends, and we would write each of those under each person's name, who it's about, in the differences columns. How do they do in school? Correct, Tanya's an average student, and Thad's a good student. And do they both like buying things? Yes. So in review, they look alike, but they have many differences. And this helps us think about the story and connect to it, because do any of you know anyone like Tanya and Thad who look alike but have many differences? Are you like Tanya, or are you like Thad? All right, now we're going to move on to example 2, and we're going to read page 4 together, and then we will fill out the comparison chart. And so far, I'd like you to fill in the title, Tanya's Money Problems, and then I want you to fill in Thad and Tanya's activities and chores, because that's one thing we're going to be comparing is the things that they do for activities and chores. And in the blank that I have right here, you'll write your name. So mine would be Miss Allie's activities and chores. I will write that in the far left column. And so then I would go on and I would read page 4 to them, and I would finish and I would ask questions. Like, part of the story remind you of anything, any things that they do or don't do? Or do you do any similar chores or activities at home? I will give you a few minutes to share your thoughts with your neighbor. And I would let them share for 1 to 2 minutes. And then I would bring them back and explain to them that they're going to fill in the charts at their seats for 2 to 3 minutes. And after that, I would tell them we will be calling on people to share their charts up on the board. And so after the 2 to 3 minutes of them filling in the charts, I would call on students for 3 to 5 minutes, and then we would review connections that were made in the stories. And I would leave up the share reminders, similar chores activity, just in case they needed any helpful boosts. All right, finally, it's your turn. I've passed out a new story for you, which is called Broken Arm Blues. It's a story about 2 siblings who break their arms, and it changes how they're able to do things and what they're able to do. And you can see on the cover, they look a little sad. So I'm going to have you flip over your worksheet, and it will be labeled 1 and 2 on those 2 charts, and you will be reading independently for 10 minutes, and then after 10 minutes is up, so it's a set time, no need to rush with your reading, it's not a race. After 10 minutes is up, you have the choice to work with a partner, or you can stay and work on your own for the worksheet. And you can see some of the chart is filled in for you. And number 1's instructions are compare yourself to one of the characters. How are you alike? How are you different? It's like the last example we did where you compared yourself to Tanya and Thad's activities and chores that they did. And you need to fill in your name and then circle the character that you're going to compare yourself to. And number 2 says, compare each character having a broken arm. What did each one have trouble with on their own, and what troubles did they share? So what were things that were hard for both of them, and what were things that one of them had trouble with that the other didn't? This is like the first example we did where we compared Tanya to Thad. And some of the subjects are filled in for you. I will have the poster board hung up in our room for your references, and you'll have the remaining class time. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to come up and ask me. And if you finish early, it is read to self. Okay?